Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me again for another crafty session. This time I'm using graphic 45 papers to make this one-page wonder. It's a little mini album, and if you like smaller projects then this one is a perfect one for you. Over on Pinterest there is a load of one-page wonder ideas, and I must have scanned through tens and tens of them, and there were a few that were in this sort of cascadey style. So I've used a few people's different versions: Pink Strawberries, Camilla, Camilla Crafts. I'll have to check her. Camilla Designs Crafts. Quite a few ladies have come up with these different ways of using one page as the base for an album. So this is my version. So if I just open this up, I can show you how this works. So I've used on this one the princess papers. It opens up. I've got a layered front with some chipboard on and some fussy cut items. Now here you could leave this open as a pocket. I've just popped mine up on a little bit of cardboard for dimension, but you can take this further, like I've taken the other lady's ideas a little bit further in another direction. You can use this as the basis for your idea and add your own spin on it. So it opens up, and inside I've got a pocket here at the side with one of the fussy cuts from the papers. I just rounded the corners there and popped that in. I've added a border across the top, one of the stickers from the sheets there, and I've added a little tag in this pocket here. Now I've used the journaling cards, and all I've done is cut them down slightly and made the edges into a tag design. You could add a tab to the top of that, some ribbon, anything you fancy. So I've done that with 3 journal cards in here. So that's the first pocket. Then it flips over, room for journaling here, a little bit of a border strip here, which you could leave untucked so you can use it as a tuck spot. Place for a photograph here, and another tag. Flip again. This time I've added one of the little pockets and envelopes here with a little tag there. Layered that up so I can pop my little secret note in there. And again on here, some more border strip, and I fussy cut some flowers this time and added them down the side. Third tag in there, which I've now got caught, there we go, in there, and that flips over to another space here to pop a photograph, and this flip element here with a 4th journaling card the other way up here with a border strip along the bottom. That closes down with one of the stamp elements, and when you fold this up, this all folds together flat like that. And I've added another piece on the back just for stability there, but also as a possibility for another picture, or you could leave it empty, loose at the top for a pocket. It also secures your ribbon. That's how I've done mine. So I'm going to show you how to make that today. It's really easy, and all you need as the base is a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So let's get started. So I'm going to use the In Bloom papers, so I'll come up a little bit. And what I need to do is get this ready for scoring. I have got this is my 12 by 12 piece of paper here. And all you need to do first is to cut your 12 by 12 piece of paper into 3 4 by 12 pieces. That's my 3 4 by pieces. One you leave aside, and the other one you just want to cut them at 6.5 inches. So I'm just going to do that now over on my 13. So now what I have is 2 6.5 pieces and 2 5.5 pieces off those 2 strips. So if I pop aside now these smaller pieces and bring back in my 12 by 4 inch piece. Okay. If I get this ready now, and then we can score this. So on this long side, all we need to do is make a score line at 1/2 inch, at 3.5 inches, and at 6.5 inches, just like so. And if you want to flip your paper over, you can just give that another little fold score on the backs of those. This small 1/2 inch makes the tab. We make a mounting fold on the first one and a valley on the second, and that gives us the basis here for our album. So let's just get that folded into position. I just move my piece of paper over there. Let's flatten that into position. Now you can decide whether you want your flowery part inside or you want your flowery part on the outside. So if I fold mine back the opposite way, this is what I'm left with. And I think I'm going to go with my flowery part on the outside. So now I've got this at the ready, and all I need now is to add my pages in. But first I need a back or a front to this, and this is where you need the 5.5, one of the 5.5 by 4 inch pieces, and that's going to attach to the tab and make your other cover. So let's stick that on now. So I'm just going to just bring that in a touch because I could see that was pushing out a little bit. There we go. Add some glue to that, to your tab, and attach your piece to it. Level up your album. There we go. And give that chance to set there. There we go. Make sure you're equal on both sides. There you go. So now you have got this. This now is going to be a pocket. So you want to make your thumb hole for this pocket. So before you stick it down, create that pocket, that thumb hole on the pocket by just adding a little notch there. And then all you want to do is stick 3 sides. So I'm just going to add my glue down this side here, and oh, oops, let's get that on, and along the bottom here. Get my glue off and fold that over and stick it down. Which now makes your pocket. There we go. Okay, so when you open it now, you've got a pocket once you stopped. And I can see a little bit of the paper there, so I'm going to trim that edge where I've not cut that straight. There we go. Easy to adjust. And there is our first pocket. Now what we've got left is 1 4 by 5.5 and 2 4 by 6.5. We can set aside the 4 by 5.5, and we now need these 2 4 by 6.5 pieces. And if we do the scoring of these together at the same time, these need to be scored at 1/2 inch and at, check my, at 3 inches. 1/2 inch, sorry, and 3.5 inches. Am I right there? Yeah, 1/2 inch and 3.5 inches. There we go, that's right. 1/2 and 3.5. And when they fold up, so 1/2 and 3.5, we get one that's the tab and a mounting, which is making it like that. So let's score those down, and we'll do the same for the second one. 1/2 inch and 3.5. You can get rid of your scoring board now because you're not going to need that. Now these pockets I'm just going to layer in like so. So I'm going to have one that's facing this way, and this one I'm going to do the opposite way, I think. I'm going to have a pink pocket. So let's get that one lined up. Just like so. Just going to trim that edge because I don't know why my scoreboard is not making that right. There we go. So there's our 2 pockets. There's our first one. It's just going to fit in like that. And our second one. Let me get these the right way around. It's going to fit like that. Pop mine in that way. And then this second one I'm going to pop in that way. That's it, we're right. So, see there, I've not folded that one right. There we go. All you need to do now is, on these ones, again, make a little thumb notch. There's the first one. And again on this one, we'll make it there. And if we stick our pockets together again, so this is where you've got your tab on the left hand side, and you just want to stick one edge, oops, and the bottom. Can't do the glue in the air, I've just twigged that. That's making our pocket. And this then gets stuck to our new album. Don't know what happened to my camera there, my battery just suddenly died. If I recap on that, I have just placed those 3 pockets, one on top of where the hinge was, and then I have placed the next one right up next to it. So all of the hinges are next to one another, and I've sealed the pockets up. So there we go on those. So hopefully there you can see that they flick over just like so. A bit of glue on there, but we can cover that up. Okay. Okay, so next I'm going to add my cover decoration, and I've got 2 pieces which are 3 1/4 by 4 3/4 contrasting papers from the In Bloom collection, and I also had a couple of little scraps of green, so I've cut this one on the diagonal so I can add some colour, just a slight piece underneath there, so just bringing in that green of the papers. So I'm just going to pop mine just like so, just adding a little bit of an edge. You don't need masses, it just adds to the paper. And if you don't want to do a whole layer, or you haven't even got enough paper for a whole layer, then this brings in the patterns without you needing too many supplies. That's just going to be like that. I'm going to add a piece of ribbon so that it can close my album. So let's pop that on for starters. It's a bit long to start with, but at least it's on. And I'm just going to attach that, oops, sorry, with a little bit of sellotape. So let's pop that in the middle. Get that stuck down. I'm going to keep it tight. And I'm going to add that another piece to the back. There we go. So that now our pieces can go over the top. What I've got to go on those, because I just want to make a bit firmer cover, is a little bit of chipboard. So I'm going to attach this chipboard. Let's find one which is a little bit not so wide. I'm going to add that there, I think. Add that and a piece further up. There we go. And this will just give us a little bit of height to our cover. Now you don't have to do this, and you could make it into a pocket actually if you wanted to, which would be look just as good, and another area to add your decoration to. Okay, I'm going to pop those on top of there, just like so. And that gives you a nice little bit of layer, and which is not too high, and a bit of an interest. On the back, I'm going to do the same, but without the green this time. I'm just going to add this piece, I think, this piece of card, just to add a little bit more stability to that back. Pop that on. I'm just going to add a piece along the bottom as well there. And that will just add, giving me a little bit more height on the back. Again, you can add this with a pocket instead of the height if you want to. I'm just going to use mine to cover up my ribbon like so. And now I've got added a bit of substance to my paper album. Not much, but just enough to make it quite firm now. So that looks pretty. I've got one of the cut aparts from the paper in bloom and another little piece of the green, which I added a little bit of ink to. I'm going to add that on with some fussy cut flowers that I've got off the papers again. So I think I'm just going to layer this one up. Again, I might as well use the card that I've got to add some dimension to the front. I think I might add the green part flat. Put that one on there, I think. There we go. And let's see, I'm going to add this piece there like so. Balance that. I'm going to add more green at the top because I've got some of that green showing down the bottom there. Yeah, I think I'll have it like that. Not everything has to be perfectly on the layers. And I'm going to tuck that in behind. So let's pop some glue on this fussy cut piece. And I'm just going to slot that in just like so. And that, I think, is going to make my front cover. Might add a little butterfly on afterwards, but there we go with the front cover. Okay, moving on. All you need to do then is to decorate the inside. I've got 3 journal cards that I'm going to cut down to fit in the album. So I'm just going to trim a piece off the side, and I'm going to trim off the other side. I'm going to make sure that that fits in my pocket. In it goes. I'm going to trim the top. I'm going to use that same piece on the opposite side so that I have got an equal shaped tag. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to layer that over my other tags, and I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to use that as my template. So that's my 2 rather, and I've got a third one here. I'm just going to layer that one up, get that one in the centre. Trim that down. This way it makes it really easy to have everything matching. Use a big pair of scissors at this point as well, because then you'll just get an easy finish on those. There's my tags. You can add ink to the edges if you like. I'm just going to add a bit there. I'm going to continue this pinky look on my blue one as well. And of course you could use them this way around, or you could use the backs, but you really want to use the back for your journaling. Add a bit more, bringing the pink into this green one. There we go. You could add ribbon to the top of these, or you could just leave them as they are. So here's my first one going in. Let's pop him in there. I'm going to have my blue one in here, I think. And then I'm going to have my pink one here. So there's my 3 added in. Now all I've got to add is a border. So I'm just going to use one of these border strips to add to the front here. And this should go all the way around and to the other side. It doesn't matter that it's going to go over your circle, so I'm just going to pop that on and I'll show you what I mean. So if we add some glue here, okay, back with my glue. I'm just going to pop my glue along here. And here, because I know the width of this, it's around about that width. And I'm going to pop my border strip, see which way I want it, this way, right along that top edge. You want to do it while it's flat, like so. This is just one of the borders cut from the papers. Stick that down and fold it at the same time. So make sure that that is on the fold. Then you want to fold this one back that you've not stuck and prepare it for that corner there, so you can cut that piece away then. There we go, and that will fit right up to your fold line. So then just stick this final part here, put some glue at the corner and on that edge, and stick that down just like so. Now that will all fold without getting on your crease. You don't want it on your crease or it will all bunch up. Now, like I said, we have just gone over our hole punch area, which you can see there. So I'm just going to pop my hole punch back in, get hold of my journal there, and I'm just going to open up that pouch and re-punch out that hole. There we go. We're back to where we were before, and we can re-put in our little tag where we wanted it, just like so. So there's the top edge, that's done. Now we have got this piece of 5 by 4 inch piece of paper. Now to make that front pocket that's going to go here, we just need to cut a small piece off this edge. So I've gone up 1 inch and then just cut diagonally across, not to the top corner. If you do 1 inch by 2 inches, so if you mark, let's just do that. If we mark with our ruler 2 inches on this side by 1 inch on this side, and we just want to cut between those 2 pieces. So I'm just going to do that on my guillotine. 1 inch by 2 inches there. That gives you this piece and this piece. This piece now, I'm just going to cut a thin slither off because otherwise it's going to catch on that corner there. So a very small slither off now allows you to pop that pocket in without going over that edge. So let's pop that on. Find my glue. I'm just going to add some glue to this corner edge here and along the bottom and a piece up there. So that's where I've got my glue. Stick that down and you've got an instant pocket just there. That's that piece done. If we flick through the pages now to the back so that we can use this piece up. Now this is way too big now, so all we want to do is measure how much you've got left, which should be along the lines of 4.5 inches. So if we cut this to just over 4.25 from the large side, so it's cut off this small end, like so, then this will fit. I've cut off that end there. This will fit perfectly here. Score this at 1/2 inch or 1/4 if you'd prefer. So depends how big you want the flap to be. I'm just going to go with 1/2 inch there, 1/2 inch on that edge, and fold it, and you have got yourself a little flap there now. So I'm going to add just a little bit of ink on the edge of there, and I'm going to stick that flap down. There we go. And that will fit like so. Okay, so then you've got your area there. Now, that is how I've put the basis of it together. If I continue and decorate the rest, and I'll come back to you when it's decorated. Okay, so here I am back with the near enough finished decorated album. I've added the flowers, a little butterfly here, and some ribbon to tied my ribbon bow on the front. You could also add glitter and gems to this as well. Inside I've done my pocket. I've added a bit more of a border, a couple of little journaling cards there. You could pop anything in there. You could pop a tea bag in at this point. Room for a picture there, and for your tag. There's that one. I popped a little couple of photo corners there for the sticker sheet. This one is a couple of those stamps cut from the papers. You could add a little, use that as a tuck spot there. A smaller piece, pop your photograph in there, or a little note. Room here for another photograph, and of course your tags. Over the page I've added one of those little pocket envelopes and a little tag to add some more information on there, and even pop a little gift or a chocolate in there. There is room. This is one of the from the pockets and tags, one of the little tags, and I've just fussy cut some of the flowers and used that as a tuck spot to add that in there as well. I've got my final tag in the back there, and flip that over. I've added a piece cut from the papers and also just a little bit of flowers on the edge of there just to finish that corner. Another border here. This is our flip part. Room to add anything up the top there. This piece here was off the papers, and I thought you could still journal over it because it's quite pale, or add a photograph underneath the All Things Grow with Love. You could also have put one of the journaling cards, the backs, on there like I've done with the other one. That flips down, and then the back, you could add something on the back there, make that into a pocket, whatever you fancy there. So that is the second of the little cascading albums. I hope you find those inspiring, and they're great from one main piece of 12 by 12 papers. So if you enjoyed that video, please give me a like. If you could subscribe, that's great, and I'll be back in another video with some more ideas to use our lovely papers. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.